How do workplace pensions work? In this video, we'll talk about the defined contribution pension plan, how they work, and how they can help you retire more comfortably and successfully. This is part 7 of our back to school, back to basics in investing and personal finance. I'm Hervin Pesa. I'm a financial planner, but just like you, I'm still on this journey to building wealth and financial independence. And in this channel, we aim to provide money lessons you never got taught in school. And to sprint towards this mission, we're publishing a video every single day in September, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss any of the lessons. What is a defined contribution plan? A defined contribution plan is another pension scheme sponsored by your employer. Instead of having a guaranteed payout and a retirement income, your employer is only responsible for the contributions they have to make today. This makes it less attractive for you, the employees, but it makes it favorable for the employers. They put in their portion and then you decide how it's invested. The responsibility is on you. Whether that meets your goals later on, your employer is no longer responsible. Defined contribution plans are now more common than defined benefit pensions because it's much easier and simpler for employers to manage today's obligations and make those contributions instead of backing pensions that are 20, 30 years away. How does the defined contribution work? Your employer will be required to put in a minimum of 1% of your yearly maximum pensionable earnings, though it's common to see 2% as a floor. This can then be increased by a matching provision up to a ceiling. Maybe they'll match 100% of your contributions until $3,200, for example. I've also seen percentage-based benefits. They do the same thing, it's just communicated differently. Maybe the employer will put in 4% of your salary if you put in 2%. You will then have the choice on how these funds are invested. This is also why it's cheaper for employers. Beyond the base contributions, they will only put more money in if you do. And this is why billions of dollars are left on the table every year, because employees don't go for the voluntary increases. The matchups reset every year too, so they don't carry over. If you don't use it this year, you tend to lose it. Are my contributions deductible? Yeah, DC contributions are deductible to you, so it reduces your taxable income in the year you're making them. The contributions are made pre-tax, so you don't even have to worry about withholding amounts for the payments that you're making. Your employer's contributions are not taxable to you, but your combined contribution will generate a pension adjustment that reduces your available RSP room in the coming year. What can I invest in? What options are available to me in my defined contribution plan? The plan provider like Sun Life, Canada Life, Manulife, they will have a list of funds available to you. They typically have risk tolerance questionnaires that will whittle down the choices for you based on your risk tolerance. The fund choices have improved dramatically over the years. You may find similar funds from what you see outside with the same institution and what you'd have available to you with a bank, but you still won't have as much choice as you would if you were managing your investments directly or if you were working with an advisor. Now, often the pension plans will have lower fees because your employer is subsidizing a lot of the administration and the maintenance costs. And depending on where you work, the company may even be using proprietary funds only available to the plan members. Now, if you don't make a choice, Alberta pension laws have a default provision that puts your contribution in a balanced fund or a target fund. It used to default to cash and GIC equivalents. Now they've made it illegal for a company to let your contributions sit in cash if you're paralyzed by making a choice. So the only way you would end up with a cash account or a savings account inside your retirement pool is by picking it. Watch tomorrow's video and you'll know why I really think that's a dumb idea for most people. Sorry to say that, but I have to repeat that, all right? The government had to legislate away cash defaults because it really hurts employees in the long run. Yet people continue to do it themselves. Doesn't make sense to me. Can I withdraw from my defined contribution plan? No. Not until you retire. This is a pension plan, it's not a cash account. It's legally set up to provide retirement benefits. Of course, there may be unlocking provisions in terms of hardships, but most common answer, can't do it. What happens to my defined contribution plan if I passed away? It's situational. If you pass away with less than 2 years to service, or if your plan hasn't vested yet, your spouse will receive your balance net of taxes. They can then also transfer it to a personal RRSP so that they don't have to pay taxes as they're receiving it. If you pass with 2 years of service or more, or you're vested, your spouse can transfer the assets to a locked-in retirement plan. They can also use it to purchase an immediate or a deferred annuity, which provides cash flow. We'll cover annuities later in this series. If you pass away without a partner, the money you've built up will be available to your beneficiary or to your estate. Of course, there's gonna be some tax consequences too, but here's one thing to consider. The defined contribution plan will likely provide a bigger estate lump sum compared to the defined benefit plan if you passed away after you've started taking the pension. So what happens to my defined contribution plan if I quit my job or if when I retire? I put these two together because the answers are fairly similar. It all depends on how long you've been a plan member. If your plan is not vested yet, you will only be able to get your balance minus taxes, or you can choose to roll that into your RSP tax-free if you have the room. If your plan is vested, it'll be locked in and you can only use it to provide retirement income. So you can do a few of the following. Number one, you can keep the funds where they are with whoever's providing the plan for your employer right now. However, your fees will likely jump up because you're no longer being subsidized by your old employer. Number two, you can transfer the balance to a locked-in retirement account with your advisor or self-directed. Number three, you can use the funds to purchase either an immediate or deferred annuity to provide cash flow. Number four, if you have access to a defined contribution plan with your new employer and they let you do it, you can roll it in there. To me, the best choice is usually to move it with the advisor of your choosing or self-directed if you have that discipline and you want to pick your own investments. Here's a key difference though between quitting and retiring. If you quit early in your career, it's a pool of assets that you want to keep growing and growing and growing. At retirement, you want to create a plan that balances out growth and the ability to be able to draw stable income from it. So make sure you're keeping that in check. You're responsible for using these funds to fuel your retirement. You don't have a pension backing you, there's no guarantees, so you gotta do it carefully. Now, before we go, I wanted to give you 4 key takeaways about the defined contribution plan. Use it, use it, use it. If you got it, use it. It's a dated article, but Tom Reed of the Sun Life states that about $3 billion of matching programs are left unused by employees every year. I don't care about that. What I care about is you. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're leaving on the table for your retirement by not taking advantage of this. So make sure you get the free cash. I couldn't be more explicit than that. Next, make sure you take the time to understand exactly what you're investing in inside your defined contribution plan. Consult with an advisor if you need to. See, with defined contribution plans, the risks of underfunding lies squarely on you. You alone. You have to make sure that you look at your overall retirement need and consider your other sources of income, your CPP, your OAS, maybe you have other pensions from old employment. That all goes back to what you consider inside this plan. And lastly, take advantage of the automatic investment. This will help you significantly. It's easy to forget that you're investing hundreds of dollars every month if it's coming out of your paycheck before you even receive any pay. Psychologically, it actually makes it easier for you to keep investing even as markets get choppy. So take advantage of this, please. If this has been helpful to you, please share with a coworker who has similar questions, very likely same pensions and same questions as you do. If it's helped you, please help them. If you're nearing retirement and you're paralyzed by all of these, please book a complimentary consultation at awarefinancial.ca. We don't bite, we not scary. And check out how we can create a written comprehensive financial plan which should help you become more successful and achieve the retirement you want. In tomorrow's video, we'll address something so fundamental. It's the reasons why you should really be investing. Check this video from yesterday's defined benefit options, or click here somewhere for the playlist that will lead you to the other videos we've done. Be sure to subscribe so that you can catch up in all the lessons and don't miss anything as we drop them for the rest of the month. Again, we're doing one every single month in September. Until next time, stay aware, take control. I love y'all. Bye.